Through it all, Kari had just let herself get swept along. There had always been a dress to try on, a caterer to consult, the wedding planner from hell to endure. 1 week passed, and then the next. Then came the big day. And what was she doing? Sitting on a toilet lid in her wedding dress, feeling as if she was going to throw up. For all that Greg was nice and accommodating and unerringly patient, she saw the looks her father exchanged with him sometimes. "I know she's a handful," her father's eyes would say, and Greg's would say, "Don't worry, sir, I can handle her, you can count on me." She heard a knock at the door. "Miss Worthington!" Oh, God, not Hilda. She couldn't take one more moment of Hilda Baxter. Stuart Worthington had spared no expense for his only child's wedding, including hiring the wedding planner to the rich and famous. Today she looked like a gigantic prune in her multi-layered indigo dress, her face all puckered with irritation. And if she didn't leave Kari alone, she was going to wrap her hands around the woman's neck and squeeze until her eyes bugged out. "Time's running short!" Hilda shouted through the door, pounding more like a prison guard than a wedding planner. "You need to be walking down the aisle in exactly 23 minutes. Kari closed her eyes. 23 minutes. In only 23 minutes, she would be a married woman. 23 minutes. 23 minutes. 23 minutes. The words reverberated inside her head so maddeningly that she put her fingertips to her temples and rubbed hard, trying to drive them away. She'd just about succeeded when a new mantra took over. 22 minutes. 22 minutes. 22 minutes. Kari jerked her head up, trying to shake that thought away. She had to do this. It wasn't just Greg and her father and Hilda and all those guests. It was Jill, too, who was waiting in the bride's room to join her on that trek up the aisle. Jill had been her best friend since they'd roomed together at Rice University, and now Jill was the only one Kari wanted standing next to her when she got married. Kari imagined the look of disbelief that would spring to Jill's face if she told her she was having second thoughts. After all, Jill thought Greg was the catch of the century. But that was mostly because she had a thing for the GQ type. She didn't really know Greg. Most of the time, Kari felt as if she didn't, either. Her second thoughts were nothing new. She'd been having them for some time now. She just thought that the happy, gushy bride thing would take over the closer the wedding got, and she'd realize how silly she was being. Now, all she could think of was escaping. She froze. Leave her own wedding? Could she do that? She took a deep, shaky breath, trying to settle her nerves, but her stomach still felt as if it was tumbling around in a clothes dryer. She grabbed her tote bag she'd brought to the bathroom with her, fished out her car keys, and stared at them. There it was. Her ticket out of there. She dropped the keys to her lap. Good heavens, what was she thinking? She couldn't just get into her car and drive away. What kind of person did something like that? She put the keys back into her tote bag and rose from the toilet lid. Looking in the mirror, she straightened her veil as best she could, then opened the bathroom door. The door to the bride's room was dead ahead. If she was going to marry Greg, it was now or never. And never wasn't an option. But all at once, Kari imagined what it would be like when she went back inside. Jill would fluff the train of her dress, telling her one more time how lucky she was. Hilda would clap her hands and herd her toward the altar, where Greg would be waiting, eager for the last block of his perfectly structured life to fall into place. For one of the few times in his life, her father would be smiling, the weight of the world lifted from his shoulders as he married off his kooky daughter to a younger, more resilient version of himself. In exactly 21 minutes, she would become... No. I can't do this. The words rang so loudly inside Kari's head that for a moment she wondered if she'd scream them out loud. Suddenly her feet felt fused to the floor, as if her dainty wedding slippers were stuck inside concrete blocks. Then, out of the corner of her eye, half a dozen steps down the hall, she saw a sign that made her breath stick in her throat.